My people, oh, my people, the sit-ins and the boycotts have worked. We are ahead in the polls.
Don't count your chickens before they come home to roost.
Oh, somebody bring me some milk, because here come a big Oreo.
Yes, yes. Give him a chance. We are ahead in the polls. But who knows how these people will vote in the privacy of their own homes.
Oh, sit down, Tom.
I am well aware of how I am perceived, but now is not the time for our petty squabbling. Now, this came to me this morning. In order to ensure victory, we must stop resisting the offer and urge the country to accept the traitors' proposition. Major motivation for racism in this country is the deeply held belief that black people should not have anything that white people don't. Not only do whites insist on better jobs, higher incomes, better neighborhoods, better schools, but they leap to gobble up our language, our dress, our music, and our dance. Therefore, I propose that from now until the polls open this evening, we circulate the rumor that the aliens have arranged for our transport to the wealthiest and most beautiful utopia in the known universe. White folks will go ape, wondering what we will encounter in this new land. They will gnash their teeth. They will even argue that to limit the space traders' offer to blacks is an unconstitutional discrimination against whites.
I cannot stand here any longer and be influenced by a man who has dedicated his entire life to sabotaging his own people. Now is not the time for trickery and tomfoolery. My people were brought here involuntarily, and involuntarily is the only way they're gonna take me out. Yes, Lord.
People without power must use cunning and guile. Yes,
identify himself with your plight whatsoever. And this is the thing that the white people in America have got to come to realize, that there are two types of black people in this country. One who identifies with you so much so he will let you brutalize him and still beg you for a chance to sit next to him. And then there's one who's not interested in sitting next to you. He's not interested in being around. He's not interested in what you have. He wants something of his own. He wants to sit someplace where he can call his own. He doesn't want a seat in your restaurant where you can give him some old bad coffee or bad food. He wants his own restaurant. And he wants some land that he can build that restaurant on and a city that can go in. He wants something of his own. And when you realize that this type of thinking is existing and developing swiftly, behind the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad among the so-called Negroes, then I think you'll also realize that this whole phony effort at integration is no solution, because the most you can do with this phony effort toward integration is to put out some token integration. And whereas this Uncle Tom will accept your token effort, the masses of black people in this country are no more interested in token integration than they would be if you offered them a chance to sit inside a furnace somewhere. The only one who'll do that is this 20th century Uncle Tom. And you can always tell him because he wants to be next to you. He wants to eat with you. He wants to sleep with you. He wants to marry your woman, marry your mother, marry your sister, marry your daughter, and if you watch him close enough, he's even after your wife. This type has blind faith in your religion. He's not interested in any religion of his own. He believes in a white Jesus, white Mary, white angels, and he's trying to get to a white heaven. When you listen to him in his church sing, he sings a song, I think they call it, "Wash Me White as Snow." He wants to be turned white so he can go to heaven with a white man. It's not his fault. It's actually not his fault. But this is the state of his mind. This is the result of 400 years of brainwashing here in America. You have taken a man who was black on the outside and made him white on the inside. His brain is white as snow. His heart is white as snow. And therefore, whenever you say this is ours, he thinks he's white the same as you. So what's yours, he thinks it's also his. Even right on down to your woman. Now, many of them will take offense at my implying that he wants your woman. They'll say, no, this is what Bilbo and Talmadge and all of the white citizens councils say. They say that to fool you. If this is not what they want, watch them. And if
What is good, my people? We are live back again with another live broadcast on the forecast. Yo, what's going on, Shanique? You got ripped off, Black Megas. Raw, what's going on? What up, Black Bear? I hit you back. I was like, yo, what's it about? You never answered it, but you know what I'm saying? You can still hit me up after I get off of here. Because I don't want to make it long or whatever, you know what I'm saying. And let me tell you this, right? So like, you know, I followed the trend this time, you know, and yeah, and now that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm about to talk about, right? It's no fault of his, right? Because I watched that movie that everybody been talking about, you know, and like I said, I'm not going to talk about the movie, but let me say this. I think that like when Black people have our own like movie lane where we create our own movies and stuff, it's probably be the best stuff like ever put together, you know, ever. So I don't know if y'all seen it, and I'm not going to talk about it or nothing, but I'm talking about that they cloned Tyrone movie that everybody been talking about, and I watched it, and I don't really got nothing to say about it, so I'm not going to really talk about the movie. But I'm just saying, you know, if you want to say something about it, then you can come on here and you can say something about it. You know what I'm saying? But I just thought it was real interesting. So that's what I'm like, you know, that it explains a lot, you know what I'm saying, with how we act. You know what I'm saying? Y'all is just robots out here. You know what I'm saying? It's through no fault of your own. You like Malcolm X just said, you know. But, you know, I'm saying, will the real us, you know what I'm saying, please step up. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to come on here, just say in the chat if you want to talk about that or anything like that I'm talking about. Just let me know in the chat and I'll let you come on here. But I'm not going to try to be long. So if you come on here, you know what I'm saying, try not to be super long-winded or nothing. But, yo, so first I gotta play this one, you know. As your boy, good old Mitch McConnell, his batteries died. I don't know what happened to him. His batteries died in the middle. They had to go recharge him, put him on the charger for a minute.
Path to finishing the NDA this week has been good bipartisan cooperation and a string of
He should have fell out of that. It just turned off for a minute. Gotta go put the body back on the charger real quick. Speaking of clones, this one is becoming an old model. They probably about to ship a new one out soon.
Are you good, Mitch? Okay, Mitch? Anything else you want to say, or should we just go back to your office? Do you want to say anything else to the press? Go back.
Go ahead, John.
I'll take it. Let's go back to you.
Go ahead, John.
Could you address what happened here at the start of the press conference, and was it related to your injury from earlier this year where you suffered a concussion? Is that fine? You're fully able to do your job?
My batteries died. Yo, what's going on, Miss Rita? You say you haven't seen it, Shanique. Yo, you should watch it. You know what I'm saying? I think it's a real dope movie. I think Black people is super creative, and you know what I'm saying. The movies of like especially with the stuff that we'll make. You know what I'm saying, and the stuff that we understand. You know, so I had to say that. I don't know what he has, Shanique, but yo, I mean, you can come on and explain that. You know, I ain't want to make it super long about that, but because I was gonna show some of the stuff just through a different way. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't really want to talk about it because But if you want to come on here and talk about it, and I'll put it in the chat. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we already know. So yeah, just let me know if y'all want to. You know, you can. But so this is like the first part, you know what I'm saying? First is like the programming and stuff like this. You know, this dude probably a clone here, you know.
Ron DeSantis appears to be trying to distance himself from the recent changes that have been made to his state's public schools.
Yeah, I know I talked about this a little bit. I ain't even talking about, it's just the understanding that maybe we are responding the way that we do, like we are programmed to respond or something, you know. Like what Raw would say, totally assimilated. All right, you can come on here because I'm gonna show you some stuff. So you can come on here if you want to do that. I'll put it in there. But yeah, man, and you know, and I don't know how many people ain't seen it, but so if you ain't seen it, then I suggest you go do that. You know, I think it's just because I think it's dope. All right, so let me go back to this. And y'all can come on when y'all ready. Just let me know. And y'all on here. All right, in the regular chat, I can't see the back chat if somebody come on when I'm not looking. All right. So he was saying, he's trying to distance himself from what they teach him, but understand, like, yeah, what else is they gonna do? That's the beginning steps. That's how you start programming them from a young age, you know what I'm saying? And have them saying the stuff that we say, right? You really turn them into mindless bots, you know, and we allow it, you know, we can't front.
School curriculum. Now, last week, the Florida Board of Education approved new guidelines for teaching Black history, which suggests that enslaved people.
All right, let me see. All right. What's going on, Black Magus? What up, Shanique?
Yo, BB448, Black Liberation.
All right.
Hey,
Forecast.
What up? Yeah, go ahead, Black Magus. What up,
yeah.
Shanique?
I thought Shanique was going.
No, I was saying no. Go ahead.
All right, so, when was this? Because when I was driving back home. Okay, yesterday, when I was on my way back from Georgia, I was supposed to be doing an interview with Baba Imhotep out of the Pan-African Liberation Movement from Baltimore. But things kind of changed, and we just did I guess you would say just a brief glance over the Homeschool University Expo, and just talking about the importance of doing some things. And on the radio program, it was highly suggested that I work with getting some younger brothers and sisters as well, but just getting the younger generation more involved with the radio show, because the elders want to see who is out there. They don't know who's out there, especially since some of them aren't really in the social media aspect. And so I'm just out on the recruit for people who I know who are doing some work and who are interested in building with some elders. But it's like, where do you go? Who do I talk to? Who do I know is a valid elder or not? And of course, you were the first person who came to my mind. And so they're looking to have younger people on Wednesdays. I know Wednesdays probably, well, I know for a fact every Wednesday don't work for me, but I don't know if it might work for you or for other people who I'm trying to just put the word out to and get them involved.
Well, yeah, I can't say every Wednesday. Like, I ain't go front. That's why I can't say like the time for this show. You know what I'm saying? So, but I would definitely come on there. Like, if they want me to come on there, it's no problem.
Yeah, man, they are definitely looking. Like I said, for people in that 20-year age category, because as I explained to the elders, and they this radio program, or let me repeat this radio station usually have elders on it, and so they do a lot of very good talking, and I challenge them that it's not just your job to just come on this radio station and just talk. You need to be reaching out. You guys are getting a little up there in age, with one being in 70s and another being in his 80s, and I mean there's a couple of actual elders on there, but I don't hear younger people calling in to the station. And so if elders are just talking to other elders, where's the younger generation that who that knowledge and that wealth of experience is supposed to get passed down to? And so I'm just trying to bridge that gap, be that link to start getting things moving, because if we don't have that connection to the elders, man, we're gonna fail.
Yeah, definitely. And that was the thing you was like saying you were gonna tell me about?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Cause or you can say it on here, but I definitely like to get more information about that. You know what I'm saying? So I could holler at them
Yeah.
too. So
Yeah.
I
So
definitely hit you up.
it would definitely, and this goes for everybody who is listening as well. There is a radio station out of Birmingham, Alabama, 95.1 FM, Sankofa Revolutionary Radio. It is uncensored free speech. Monday through well, actually programs are on live programs are Monday through Friday, at least the first two programs, and then on the weekend there's a couple of elders who have uh their own programs as well. So it's not podcasting, it's 1 hour radio programs with people getting to the point, and it is solution based radio. We're not doing rhetoric, we're not just talking and not giving people solutions to things. We're actually putting out what the problem is. Now these are the tools that we need to get those things fixed, to rectify the actual issue. And I know that that's something that you have definitely been touching base on, and that you exhume the essence of wanting those solutions and getting people alert to getting the problem fixed. And that's why I really wanted to extend the very first interview out to you before anybody else. And anybody can go to that. You can also go to the website wsyp951.com, and you can tune in. You can listen to previous broadcasts as they will be replayed, and just check out the radio station.
Yo, that's dope. Yeah, I definitely would do it. I'll definitely hit you up about that. And yeah, I'm with that. That's good. And you can put it in the chat too. So
Yep, not a problem.
But yo, what's going on, though, Shanique? You there, Shanique? All right, she must.
Sorry, my mic, my buttons were acting crazy. I'm sorry, and I stepped away for a second, but I'm here.
Oh yeah, you good. I was just saying you wanted to say something.
Well, no, actually, it's funny. I when you were mentioning earlier about the that first video you showed, I was like intrigued, like, okay, I definitely want to hear what's going on with this show. And then I was hearing what he was saying, and I was thinking, yeah, you're right. It's like with things like that, you kind of want to have someone to pass the torch on to, and you seem perfect too. So I was kind of listening to that. Then I went to cooking. So I mean, I'm just intrigued to be on the show and hear where it's going. I don't have any present thoughts, and I'm focusing on being a little bit less verbose, so because I can go sometimes.
All right, that's what's up. That's what's up. But y'all can say whatever. So, all right, I'm gonna show this stuff here. And I don't know if any of y'all saw that movie. Shanique said she hadn't. I think Black Magus, you have, right?
This is the Uncle Tom's Cabin.
No. That movie that just came out. It was
They clone time. Hell nah, man. Bro, I don't really do stuff like that. Like, especially when it's a bunch of Negroes, man. I'm not interested in things like that. I mean, I do. Don't get me wrong. I do have my enjoyment with entertainment, but I don't rush to some things. And I know a lot of people are rushing to that, and I keep hearing people talk about it as well. But I'm like, yeah, maybe if the mood strikes me.
Right. I feel you. I ain't gonna front. I thought it was like, I thought it was like, and it's just like saying the same stuff that everybody been saying the whole time, but like, it's just an interesting take on it, about like how we just clones, what I'm saying? Like, and that's kind of, what this is, so like, all right, so I'm gonna go to the thing. So like, so this back to they talking about the new thing in Florida, right? Well, I ain't really talk about it much. I just showed it, and I ain't gonna really talk about it now. But so this is our response to all of this stuff. But this is the first stage, when you don't have support for people who have your own school systems, and you send your children there every day to learn this stuff, and they will make you or arrest you for like truancy if your kid don't go to school and get indoctrinated, for the most part, and in general, as most of us, you know what I'm saying? So
people reaped benefits from skills acquired during centuries of forced labor. Reaped benefits. The move comes just months after DeSantis criticized an advanced placement course on African American studies. The changes are now facing. This prompted DeSantis to defend his state while also denying any personal responsibility for the new education standards. Take a listen.
Well, you should talk to them about it. I mean, I didn't do it and I wasn't involved in it. But I think what they're doing is I think that they're probably going to show some of the folks that eventually parlayed, being a blacksmith into doing things later in life. But the reality is all of that is rooted in whatever is factual. They listed everything out. And if you have any questions about it, just ask the Department of Education. You can talk about those folks. But I mean, these were scholars who put that together. It was not anything that was done politically.
Now, my thing is, I don't know where we've been all this time. And I had to show the black dude who they interviewed, because they could be like, yo, that dude is a clone too, you know what I'm saying, that they put there, which is basically a metaphor for the people who is in these positions to do what they're supposed to do, which harms us all, and turns us to keep having these generational curses, but this is black people's response, to everything.
Education standards for African American, for Florida's education boss to step down.
I'm Katie Lagrone. More fallout from Florida's newly adopted education standards for Africa. Today, tracking the latest backlash, the state's response, and one lawmaker's call for Florida's education boss to step down.
He is not going to rewrite and redefine Black history, not while we're still alive.
Outrage continued Monday over Florida's new standards for teaching Black history.
It's insulting, it's demeaning, it should not exist.
The social studies curriculum approved by Florida's
It's like a guaranteed response. We're gonna fight, to make them accept us. You feel me?
Man, let's stop with the fake and the funk, man. Come on.
But,
If they were really gonna do something, then he wouldn't have did this in the first place, right? Like, let's be honest about it. Like, these people only do things because they know there's going to be no resistance, and it's always, again, reasons why we got to get younger generation connected with the elders and not the olders, because these olders are the ones who we know, especially these politicians. You know, they get into politics because they know it's a welfare program. You know, let's call it what it is. It's a welfare program where they know I'm going to get this seat in doing whoever, whatever, and I'm going to hold it for as long as I can. But what's not talked about is the reason why they get their seats, the reason why they never do anything. See, these are the things that don't get talked about. We can look back to the 2000s when Dr. Cynthia McKinney was the senator of and she speaks about this. You can find clips of her talking about this. When you want to get into politics, especially when you want to get in on that level like that, like a state representative, a governor, something like that, what happens is you must kiss the ring. Who holds the ring? Many will ask. It is the Jews. You have to pledge your loyalty to Israel before you get anywhere or to continue to remain in power. And so because of that, what we don't know is how many of these people have kissed the ring. We see that, people like Maxine Waters held her seat for what, 30 years? But what is her district like? Trump, you can say what you want about him, but Trump was not wrong when he talked about their districts. The professional black caucus. He was not wrong when he what was it? Wasn't the shithole countries comment? It was rat holes or something like that. He said before he got out of office. Where he talked about these things, and of course, it's the emotion politics where, hey, Trump said this about black people. No, Trump said the truth about some shady, shisty ass people who are only fleecing the people. They get into politics, man, because, like I said, it's a welfare program. DeSantis did what he did because DeSantis knew, and whether DeSantis, directly did it or indirectly did it, either way, it was done because they know that everybody who has a mouth to speak up against this will not speak up against this.
Right. I mean, I understand what you're saying, right? But the thing is, right, it's this is not even a new thing. This is not a new phenomenon, right? This is the same old thing, like, and until, like, it don't matter which group of, like, what it is, I understand, like, and that's the thing, the people that are in these positions, like it says, like, they are transformed and made into something that is not what they are originally, you know what I'm saying? And they make them clones, you know what I'm saying, just for this purpose, and that's kind of the point, that the people in these positions are still saying the same old thing, and they put them into certain positions. But also, it is up to us to go out there and reach the youth and all of that stuff. But and to replace those things completely, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, like, you hold the power in all of this, and that's kind of the point, but this starts with the education thing, and this ain't new, right? Like, what did they, like, I know I ain't learned no damn black history in school, you know what I'm saying? It ain't like this is original, this is the same thing over and over, right? And I understand, like we have no friends, period, you know what I'm saying? That's the thing I don't think that we realize, though, and that's the issue. Like, we don't understand how you can use an ally, but, like, because we don't understand the difference between what an ally and a friend is, we think that some other is going to help us or put us in a position, and that is not going to happen, right? The only way that especially if you want to be or control your own destiny, the only way that people won't stop attacking you is when you become like a servant, and that's for like anybody. So that's why even with this, they say the people of color and all of this stuff, but it's only Black history that we aren't learning because we have to learn it ourselves. But like, I'm mad I had to learn this stuff for myself, but not saying people didn't talk about it, but they don't talk about everything, So, well, Shanique, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, actually, it's funny because what I was thinking as this was going on, I'm looking at them and he mentioned, basically there's these, I want to say shells of people who are representative supposedly of us, and they make the statements and they do all of the, oh, we're going to be
Sis, you
so
breaking up bad,
outraged.
sis.
Oh,
You
I'm
breaking
really
up real
anyway.
bad, sis.
Let me go out and come back.
All right. Hold on, I can't see it. All right, I'm gonna let her come in. Nah, Bukar, you ain't late, but like I said, I ain't gonna be too long on here, so but y'all could come on here and say y'all opinions about whatever.
Yo, yours is messing up now. Dang, I should have not said Jews.
Yeah, I think it's yours because I heard Shanique. All right, but she got off before I could say it because it might be you though. You should.
Yeah, all right, let me try backing out there.
All right. I don't know. Yeah, Shanique, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Am I clear?
Yeah, you're clear.
Oh, okay. So yeah, basically what I felt like was the thing that gets me is that every individual that they bring up to be outraged supposedly for us and our children and their well-being and their education, if they have children, they're not being educated in those same systems. And if they don't, they really do not care about the education of our children. So we have to find a way. And I know they know, this is the funny thing is they know that by and large, your average so-called African-American or Black person is usually spending so much time at work and trying to maintain their living that the children that they have, they just are not taking that extra time out to say, I'm going to commit to educating you myself. Some may even recognize, like myself, we recognize and acknowledge, the education that you're getting, even if it's a good education by the standards that are laid out. Because to be honest, all of my children go to predominantly white schools. That's just because of the community we live in. But believe you me, I do not believe that the education that they're getting is superior for, as I understand it, Israelite children. And that's what I know my children are. For everyone, they may very well be equipped to go into the mainstream and do the things that people need to do and say the things that need to be said. But will they have any identity or understand our true history? No, they'll start to be talking heads that mimic the same thing that DeSantis is saying maybe at some point if they have their way. So I know that we have to find a way, if not to supplement what our children are doing or getting in the school system, because we know that they aren't getting what they need. And we possibly are not in a position to say, I'm going to full-time homeschool. Some of them aren't, or maybe find a way. Like right now, I don't know how I would connect with other people who are like-minded as myself to decide that, hey, maybe we could do a collective, like a co-op where we virtually educate one another's children, and someone has the hub that is the person that's physically in the centered space so that those children will have a place to be. Because you also, as I know, when I educated mine, you have to get that curriculum that you're going to do pass by the school system. So you've got to send them your curriculum. Now you can be as vague as you like so that you can get the things you want to get accomplished, but you still have to meet, quote, their requirements. So at any way you look at it, there's going to be some oversight, which is so funny that the oversight that they put over homeschoolers is pretty intense. Whereas this is some of the nonsense that our children are being taught in schools, which shocks me. But I said I was going to be a little less verbose, so I'm going to stop.
Can I say something to that though, real quick, Sister Shanique? I think it depends on where you live, because here in Colorado, when we took my daughter out of school to homeschool her, all they ask is that you actually show them proof that the child is enrolled in something. You don't have to show them the curriculum, and you just have to accept the fact that every I can't remember the exact grades because I know she's due for her evaluation this school year, but at those key grade levels they actually do send out an evaluator to test your child to make sure that they are learning something, and they don't tell you what's going to be on that eval. But again, I believe you are free to teach your child whatever. It's just you have to make sure your child is prepared to take that evaluation. And based on this core math and the fact that they've removed spelling from the curriculum, it's all about phonetics now, and so much dumbed down weakness. I already know that my daughter is way past where she should be at on their grade level.
Yeah, for me, it was some time ago. So I'm not certain how the standards have changed. I'm in Arizona. It's funny, my son lives in Colorado, but I'm in Arizona, and it was a little more intense. They wanted me to send in lesson plans. They wanted me to show them where I was going with it. And I actually did it's funny because I did of an auditor come in. So it's something intense, but maybe it has gotten, I mean, things have dumbed down quite a bit. So maybe they've become far less stringent with what they require. And I would maybe need to look into it again.
All right. Oni came on the joint. What's going on, Oni?
Peace. What's going on, man?
Not much, chilling. What's going on?
Oh yeah, this kid's doing sit-ups because he ain't paying attention. But
23.
Hold on a second. Let me tell him to stop. All right. Nah. I saw about this thing, but I kind of came in a little bit late. So, you let me know. I mean, I saw the Florida thing, but I don't really know much about Florida. You know what I mean? It looks like a bunch of bullshit, but that's what it is. It's like, I'll say it this way, if you let people educate your children, that's on you. You know what I mean? Like I can't, like if I send my son to, a homosexual, right? If I send my son to a homosexual, right? I shouldn't be surprised if this homosexual is now telling my son, oh, you should explore homosexuality. Like if I'm like, hey man, I know you're a homosexual, but don't teach my son that stuff. It don't even make any sense. Because this person is willing to put their time and energy towards spreading their message. And they advertise themselves as, look, I'm going to spread my message. I'm going to be me, right? You can't then look at them and say, well, don't do what you are doing. Like, don't do your mission. Do what I should be doing. I can't go to this white boy and tell him, hey, look, man, teach my child to hate you. You know what I'm saying? The white man's going to teach you to love him. And it's not even like that's just what you would expect if you don't even know these people. But this white boy has shown you for 200 years, at least, that his whole MO is to teach you to love him. Okay? His whole MO is to teach you to love him. Teach you that he's better than you. Teach you that you a piece of shit. And he's been doing this for 200 years. He taught you this. You know this. Your ancestors told you. Notwithstanding, 200 years later, right? 200 years later, resources galore, internet galore, connectivity galore. 200 years later, you still sending your child, the most vulnerable member of your family, to him? I can't get mad at this white boy. It's like George Bush said, fool me once, shame on you. You know what I'm saying? Fool me twice, shame on me. And he's like, well, you can't get fooled a third time. We've been fooled 26 damn times. 26 damn generations. I'm not even counting. I'm just making up a number, but I'm just saying 26 damn generations. You got fooled 26 damn times. It ain't no shame on this white boy no more. It's shame on you. Like, damn, most people say you can't get fooled more than once. Damn it. You know? That's all I'm going to say.
All right. So, all right. What's going on, my brother Maurice Muhammad? All right. So, look, I'm gonna show the next thing, right? Because that's the point. That's the point. You know, we keep making the same. We say the same things over and over, and you know, I'm not saying that we shouldn't talk about things or nothing like that, but we say a lot of things over and over. But at the end of the day, we still have the same results, you know. And then it's not just that; it's you know how they're talking about the woke military. I'm like, and now they're talking about affirmative or diversity is bad in the military because they want the white nationalists, and you know this is him defending it, right?
Now from Capitol Hill, Senator, thank you so much for joining us. Is it for women? Is it for the 9th and 10th graders who are getting?
So we decided that we would talk with coaches, administrators, parents, athletes, NCAA, and we started out a process of trying to think, can we help on this? Because we saw that college athletes is basically in a tailspin right now with money being made, which I'm going to go by to for the Olympic sports and women's sports is all going to go in balance to this whole situation. So I don't know whether we can get it passed. I don't know whether Democrats will vote for it. They want to unionize Joe Biden to sign it. Now, we're going to have a lot of opposition, but that's fine. Every other bill's like that. But at the end of the day, we want it to be about the student athlete. And
personal, sir.
Get
I'm
these
curious
young black boys, by the way.
if you will sit down with the president and change your mind.
Well, protect.
I would think that military readiness.
Almost zero need to be happening with our military. They change this back in 5 minutes and then send a bill down there to the floor. And John, I'm not going to stand for it. That's not what the American people want. That's not what our Constitution says.
What would make you change your mind? Nothing?
Move the policy back the way it was. We had zero complaints about it. The Biden administration did this because of Roe Wade. Move it back the way it was. We have an abortion policy. We're going from
right. So I wanted to show you that because they're talking about the rogue military. I'm going to show you just a little bit.
It's no longer recognized.
They're mad at this.
There's a time in every debate where everything has been said, but not yet by everyone, and that may be where we have adopted in the last round of voting have certainly ensured that DEI, regardless of the passage or not of my amendment, will not be a principal feature of our military service if this bill becomes law, and that would be a great thing for our military. That said, it's important to note that in the name of DEI, our military has done some pretty strange things. Secretary Austin, in his first act, hired some rather strange people in the government. There's one DEI office audacity to say that black people can be racist too. I had to stop the session and give Karen the business. This was the person that we had hired to create a more inclusive environment. And I think it's indicative of the inherently divisive culture that has permeated radical racial ideology. My amendment gives us the opportunity to pull it up by the root, and I hope my colleagues support it. I would add this final point before yielding back. We have standards in the military that allow.
Right. So what we understand, and I think that's a good thing. You Negroes need to stop going to, and I'm not trying to say anybody do or don't, but like going to war to be like, yo, this is my country and all this other, when it's clearly not, you feel me? But this is the black people's typical response, right? The same thing for after generation after generation, where we say all this stuff over and over.
This issue that he has brought before this body and the committee is exhausting. Just this week, the sponsor of this amendment called diversity, equity, and inclusion in the military a, quote, failed experiment. He has called it cancerous. Just this week, a senator from Alabama nominations, which is actively hurting our national security, something that this NDAA bill would address. To what end?
And black people fight them to be a part of the thing that they got taken over by, you know, it's crazy. Instead of, imagine if we had put that much energy into, like, you know, our own defense programs and policies and stuff like that about who we be around and associate with and what we say and what we do, we will learn a lot more. Do any of y'all got something to say about the military part? Because that's the next thing. And the point is, you know, like robots, right? We're gonna be like, no, I'm gonna fight you, so I could be like, I'm an American soldier and go shoot down wherever you tell me to go, you know. But go ahead.
And it's
U.S. Marine
it's
Corps.
diversionary tactics, in my opinion. Let's look at the state of this country since the murder of Mike Brown and the murder of the grassroots Black Lives Matter.
Yo, you cut off. You still there? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I don't hear him anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. He cut off. Well, I guess until he come back, then one of y'all can say something if y'all want to say something.
No, I don't really know what they're talking about. Like, they talking about diversity in the military?
No, well, the dude, they just like affirmative action and stuff like that. Now they're doing it for the military, or the dude Tuberville or whatever. He's like, you know, the white nationalist is in the army, and they saying like, that we don't need this like diversity stuff in the army, you know, and he said colors, you know what I'm saying? I was not saying we don't want colors in the army, and black people got mad, you know, but we do say people of color, you know what I'm saying? And I don't understand why we would be fighting them to be a part of that anyway. You know, if we have put that energy into our own, you know, maybe we'll be a lot better off. But that's the, you know, the robots that we have become. Or the clones.
Yeah, we wilding, man. I don't know about this. Like I said, I wouldn't serve in no military for no reason. But yeah, how they got this black guy? Is he trying to stop? I don't know, man. I don't know why these people. Yeah, I don't understand what people be doing in America. Like how folk be fighting to fight for this white man. You know, even knowing this white man be doing dumbest shit abroad.
29.
You know, I don't know if you guys can hear this kid.
Yeah,
But yeah, he does the dumbest shit, man. I you know, like our people just be like fighting to go in the military, you know, and it's like, you know what this military is doing abroad, you know, and I understand if you're just looking for a paycheck, you know, but if you really like if this white man said, hey man, we're sorry, we're not gonna accept you guys in the military, I'm good. Like you hear this little boy of mine, I don't want this motherfucker, like, I don't want this kid going abroad into, you know, Nigeria for all the wrong reasons. You know what I mean? I don't want him getting drafted and sent to Ukraine. You know, I think this white boy is doing some dumb shit abroad, and black folk, like I think black people are not trying to step back. And that's my big issue. It's like, we're here in America, but we're not really trying to step back. It's like integration is in full effect. You know, integration is in full effect. And I get it, but it's like, I don't like it. You know, I don't like it. Wait, bro, if you talking forecast, you know you muted, right?
Oh damn, my bad. I was like, Black Maggot's back. I was saying, was he still? Could he hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. All right. Well, you were saying something. No, go ahead. Finish what you were saying.
Telling me or Oni?
No, you Black Maggots. Go ahead. You was you got cut out whatever you were saying.
Okay, yeah, I don't know what's going on. like I said, maybe because I talked about these Ashkenazis. I don't know, man.
Absolutely.
Right, Shanique? Oh man. So, and hopefully it's not chopping up right now. I mean, I restarted my entire phone. Um, Basically, it's diversionary tactics, man. You know, and I'm pretty sure Bakari can even speak to this. Like, when it comes to white nationalists or supreme Americans, whatever you want to call them, those are the people who the military and paramilitary forces want. Those, they know these people for the most part are that. They do thorough background checks on these people. Like, we have to stop acting like these people get hired to these positions and nobody knows who the hell they are. Bullshit. Even if we are to believe the FBI report from, what is it? I believe 2016, that said that the police force is overrun by white nationalists. What that means is white nationalists who either hired them or at least the system itself wants somebody who they know is going to keep a suppressive force above, well, first and foremost, I'm going to say black people, but I will say all others. They want those who are die hard in the paint for America. So we can't believe these people when they say any of this crap. It's, again, diversion tactics to promote racial hatred amongst blacks and whites so that they can keep things going, business as usual, basically. And they have the perfect scapegoat for people for whites to hate black people. And what is that? It's Black Lives Matter. We're seeing now, as they're talking about, oh no, black people can be racist because they use Black Lives Matter as a trope. They say that black people want to commit crimes and then cry about, hey, you're not supposed to arrest us. You're not supposed to do this. You're not supposed to do that. I'm gonna pull a Me Too. Well, I'm gonna just pull a BLM on you. And so now it not only is it getting the white nationalists, but it's getting those normal or as white people call them, the normies, those who are fence riders, those who are neutral. They're not, actively, I would say actively practicing racial terrorism, but they're still benefiting from those things, right? Like, now they are even getting pissed off at even black people because of this kind of stuff. And that's all that we're seeing right now. These things are being hyped up. If we even look at DeSantis in Florida back when in February, where they were talking about, he's stopping the teaching of black history. No, this guy literally said, he didn't want the LGBT mixture into, because they were going to literally put a BLM curriculum into Black History Month. And he said that homosexuality is not Black history. This is him. This is his own words. But everybody promoted it as he's trying to stop the teaching of Black history. That's not what he did at all. Everything that we're seeing coming out of the mainstream narrative is to continue the race baiting so that we can stay at odds with each other. And whether you believe in, the brother Irritated Genie's, mission that he's doing now with building with white nationalists or not, the fact is that we can look at the news, we can look at television on any aspect, because most of us live in black neighborhoods. Again, it's nothing but an algorithm, because you live in a massive black neighborhood. Well, we're going to push, hey, look at what all of these people are doing to black people. But then when you go to white neighborhoods, they get to see, hey, this is what black people are doing to you. It's marketing at its finest to continue this rhetoric of keeping us always in hatred, always at odds with each other, while they continue to do what it is that they want to do. Like, nobody right now is talking about, they just finished their simulation of the next pandemic that will possibly be released at the end of this year or early next year. And this is the same thing they did with COVID-19, with Event 201. In October of 2019, they started it, their simulation, and it concluded in December. And right as December came, what did we hear? Oh, China has the outbreak of a new thing. You see, it's diversion tactics to keep us, the donkey on the stick. Let's look at this submarine imploding. Let's look at Carly Russell. It's so much stuff out there right now to dissuade people from what's really going on and what these Ashkenazis are really doing.
Now, I would say this, Black Magus. The thing is, right, what we are overlooking, because like the point is, right, you see how easily when you talk about the white national, how easy it is for them to squad up and get them, and because they wanted to recruit them. Now the question is, like, why aren't Black people doing that? If that's the case, we know that we know that there are people trying to create school systems, but they barely get any help or any recognition. Anytime that a Black person is doing something, there is the first thing to be like, I don't know about this person, and the question and any of this kind of stuff, and
forecast. Before you go to the next part of that question, I'm gonna tell you, you just answered your question. I don't know. That's literally all it is. Because if I was to ask you, do you know any Black homeschoolers around you? What would your answer be? Do you know any within a 500-mile radius of you?
Well, yeah, probably, in the 500-mile radius, there are some local joints, like where it's Black owned. Most of them is like super young, like, and then there's daycare, like educational kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, but like the thing is, I also don't have any like children, so I don't have any like go seeking like the enroll. But I do know Black owned stuff. You know what I'm saying? I do look that stuff up. But yeah. That's the only reason I know that. But
the community is your family. The community, you're a father, you're a Baba, you're a Jegna, you're a Sebi to the community. As we're finding out with you right now, you're a historian to the community. Family is not blood. Family is those in your community. Community is the combination of two words: common unit and unity. You definitely have common unity with your people. Problem is that you might be surrounded, or as many of us are, we're not surrounded by people with like interests, as just Sister Shanique was saying earlier. We're not surrounded by those type of people, and because we're not surrounded by those type of people, then those who are actually putting in the work, they don't get promulgated. We have to propagandize this. We have to make it hip. We have to make it cool. We have to let our children be able to turn on the television and say, "Oh, Sankofa High School. I want to go to that. Like, look at what they're doing. Look at the sports program that they have. Look at the science and technology, the STEM that they have going over there." We have to propagandize this thing. It's not just on one person to do it. It is upon all of us to do it. But the problem is, again, we are even at odds with each other because we don't see each other as brothers and sisters for small, petty differences. We have division amongst us because we've allowed people to divide us. And now, as I continuously say, that if there was to be a civil war tomorrow, we're not going to see our actual enemy because we're going to be too busy fighting somebody with black skin.
And that's the thing. We've been busy fighting each other, with black skin this whole time, and that's why I'm talking about if we understood the truth, and that's the thing, like you saying, and that's the whole point of, we clones at this point. Like, we have become what they want us to be. And we don't realize that we are all we got at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? There's nobody that is going to build that community for us. Everybody, whatever their interests are, they're going to build the community for them the way that they want to. You saw how quick they got up on the school board. They put money into getting people into the school board. We talk about the school board and we got people trying to create it. And, not, like I said, not enough of us is doing that, but that's our job, to keep going and to hopefully inspire the next people to do that. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's up to us to get out there and do stuff. Like, you send your children to a Black institution. You know what I'm saying? Like, you go out the way to do that. And I try to encourage as many people as we can. That's why we use these platforms as a tool to, you know, display a message, you know what I'm saying? Because if we don't do something to stop, like get some kind of other understanding or program into it, you know what I'm saying, then it's going to continue again and again. And the next ones will be the Asians, and then we'll get enslaved by, you know what I'm saying, the Indians again, and then we're going to get enslaved by, you know what I'm saying, the rednecks again, you know what I'm saying, then we're going to get enslaved by the shysters again, you know what I'm saying, then the French again. Like, as long as we keep doing the same thing that we're doing, like, and we just becoming clones generation after generation, like, how else can you get enslaved 3 times, you know what I'm saying, in the last 1,000 years as Black people, you know? But, oh yeah, damn, my bad, Shanique. Go ahead, and then y'all can say whatever y'all want to say.
Oh, sorry. No, I completely. Oh goodness, I completely agree with Black Magus. You know what, the part of it that I think it is diversion. It is fully diversion. But, and maybe it's not a popular statement, but I think that the key is when we decided, oh, let's integrate, because at that point, all of us decided that, you know what, we can then have the greedy eye for whatever other people want. Like you showed in that first video, the majority of us feel like everything that they have, we want. That works both ways. You know, we want the things that they have. They clearly want the things that come naturally with us, but without us being there, if they could get it by proxy, so be it. But if we decided we didn't go to the military, right, then there's a lot of us who would not have woken up to the fact, and I don't mean woke now, but I have woken up to the fact that this is not the utopia that they went there believing, that America, the freedom, none of that applies. But a lot of people are drinking the Kool-Aid, and it's not until they go to the military that they get the reality ninja moment and wake up and realize, oh my goodness, this is the worst place on the planet. They rape everyone and murder and kill, and still they didn't just do it here, they do it worldwide. And then they start running across borders because they get the clue. But there's a lot of them that go there, get the training they need, realize, okay, I'm not going to run, I got to stay and fight. They come back and they try to do something from within. But if we don't do it on our own here without going to the military, then the only other ones that will ever get a clue that they have to fight are those that go to the military and learn the skills and do the training and get the discipline. Because the truth of the matter is, they're afraid of us, even though we're in projects, even though we're in ghettos, even though we are being poisoned in our food, poisoned with their inoculations, poison in our mind and the education, all of that. Even though all of that's going on, they're still so fearful because of the power that we hold in the ghettos. You've got so many people that if they were in the military, nobody could deal with America at all, because if the average Pookie and Ray Ray that's running with the Crips and the Bloods were out there in the military, the fierceness that we have, the fierceness that we are fighters. We just have gotten our minds and our wires crossed, and we're fighting for them. We're fighting with us, against us. It's so crazy that we don't have a focus. And the sad part is my focus. Well, this isn't the sad part. The sad part is that most people don't realize that in addition to physical, it is spiritual, because we're spirituals. Now, this may sound crazy to y'all, but I believe we are avatars. Our bodies are bodies, shells. The spirit that's within us is what is us, and we are the prototype. So for us to be fighting for them, and we're fighting against being the leaders, the kings, the rulers of the world, kings and queens, the rulers of the world that we're supposed to be. But it's because we got all these different ideas in our mind, and they knew what they did when they said, oh, let's get amongst them, because that's always been our issue. The minute we get amongst others, strangers, we start wanting to do and be like them and lose our focus and our center, and then we can't rule anything. Because if you take the power that we have and just break it up into little sections and have it all confused and distorted and distracted, then yeah, we're going to help them, because they at least have a focus. Now, when DeSantis was first saying, oh, the whole thing about the education, you were right. I remember him saying it was about the alphabet agenda that was involved. And when I heard the things that were there, it was like, oh yeah, this isn't about Black people at all. But see, you have to put us as the face of everything, because the one thing they recognize is that the common real enemy is us. So if they put a face on it that, oh, it's Black, then, oh, we gotta hate it. Oh, it's Black, then, oh, if they hated things that were really detrimental to them because our face was on it, or that were really beneficial rather to them because our face was on it, then we could win, because we wouldn't even need to be focused. They would kill themselves. So I say, yeah, let them have all the inclusion they want, because when they get the inclusion, and that's why they don't want it anymore, when they get the inclusion and they've got the cross-dressers in the military, and they got the women that think they're men even though their bone density is not the same, and they got the men who want to, you know, poke each other in the booty all through like all of that stuff is going to let them have it. Let their military fall. Isn't that how it happened in the past? I mean, it's all Greek to me for a reason, right? They have been doing this forever. They will implode themselves. We need to get on the same page that it's Black no matter what. If you're Muslim, if you believe you're Israel, if you're a Christian, whatever. But see, they use that, and we all get focused on the things that keep us separate. Oh, you're too light, you're too dark. If you are Black, then you are being subjugated by everybody else. Get on the clue about that. And then we can actually be a formidable opponent. But if you get the biggest bully and you tell him, oh, you know, being big is actually, it's not an asset, it's a weakness, then you got the bully already. So we just sitting here, the biggest mugs on the block, the strongest ones, the smartest ones, but they got in our head and told us that we're the weaklings, and we just believe it, and we go along with whatever they say. The foolishness that exists. I wish I would care about their military. Let them go. Let them do whatever they're going to do, and we'll see how it works out. But we don't want to divest. We really don't. I'm sorry. I said I was going to be less, and I'm talking too much.
No. I mean, yo, and that's what I'm saying. Like it's like, because I'm not even talking about their military. It's like, why can't we be a part of y'all military? We say people of color. Y'all can't act like y'all don't even know people in your lives that say this. And I know that I do, you know what I'm saying? And that's the whole point, you know, it's the fact that, like, we are maybe all these things, but where is our military at? Where is the basic institutions at? You know what I'm saying? So how could we be these things? So we just clones at this point of ourselves, you know. What up, Bakari? And then only you know, after Bakari, then only the Black Magus, and then I'm gonna show one last thing. I'm gonna show the rest next time, but after that, you know, then we'll get off here. Bakari, you there? I don't know, Bakari must don't know how to hit the. Damn, Black Magus fell off. All right, there you go. All right. Well, I guess Bakari can't know how to work the mic. Okay. Yo, Bakari. I don't know. They having technical difficulties on here tonight, you know what I'm saying? Like, they might kidnap us and put us in that little prison thing. Only you want to say something, because they having like super technical difficulties or something going on.
Nah, I'm good. I think Shanique said it all.
Okay, that's what's up. All right. Go ahead, Shanique, because I was gonna let them speak, but I'm about to show the last thing, and then they can speak after that. Was you wanted to say something?
Oh no, just that. I mean, I want to know how we formulate. Right now, they keep making all this interference for a reason, so we must be onto something. I just want to understand. Give me the direction. Help me to see how we formulate this, our own defense, our own anything. Because every time we try to get anything going, they drop bombs, literal and figurative, on us, and we just go, oh, I guess we need to just stop. So we have to do something and actually do it, because if you're waiting for them to allow us to have our own Black military in this country, you'll be waiting a long time. We're going to have to stop. They allow the Bloods and the Crips, which should tell us something. They allow all these other things that go on. But here we go. Black Lives Matter was even allowed when it was all kinds of alphabet and confused and making us look bad. But when you actually have a point and you're directed on something, it's somehow fizzles, somehow gets infiltrated, somehow it just breaks apart. We have to just give some direction. I need direction on how to do it, because honestly, I'm going about it just spiritually. And in that way, as I understand it, a lot of us ain't gonna make it. So I want to know. Let's get together, put our heads together. Let's figure it out.
All right. Yo, definitely. Bakari, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I was having technical difficulties. Peace to everybody on the panel and in the chat. Look, y'all was talking about the military, right? So one thing I can say about the military, me being in the Army, and at one time they had more black people than anybody, than any branch of the military in their military. When we talk about most black people, and I'm telling you, just from what I know, especially in the Army, infantry, whatever, most black people ain't going to no military to fight for this country. Black people been starved out. Them putting black people in a position to go to their military is nothing new. I did a show about a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, called Slavery in the Military. If you study the history of the people who these folks want to be like, their people, the Romans, the Greeks, France, England, all of them, when they conquered and destroyed to make you feel like you are a part, you can fight for us in the military. Hence the Moors that people talk about, not all, but a lot of those Moors were even a slave military so they could become a Muslim, not Muslim, but Muslim. But anyway, that's the reason most black people go to the military. I see those so-called white nationalists in the military. I ain't gonna say so-called. I guess that's what they are. Don't bother me. I whoop their ass. See, the thing with me and the stuff I talk about is what I do. So, but like, I'm not gonna forget what David Duke them did to say I'm gonna chase a few white people called Jews either. All them bastards the same. All of them is the same. I ain't gonna forget. I can't forget. Maybe other people can because it didn't come to their doorstep, but it came to my doorstep. So I ain't gonna ever forget. All them bastards the same to me. All of them. So now this thing we're talking about what we need to do in the military, what they're gonna let us have. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm just gonna say a name. And when I say this name, just go listen who was insulting this black man more than anybody. Grandmaster Jay. It wasn't white people all over social media insulting him, calling him dumb, calling him stupid, calling him an agent. It was black people. Sometime we gonna have, Shanique, like what you just said, we gonna have to stop fighting over everything, any little ideology. Sometime we gonna have to look in the mirror and say, you know what? We did allow this to go on. Everybody just went in. I ain't gonna say I'm the only one, because I don't listen to a lot of people on social media, but I can say I know I'm not the only one. Because Consider Cheeks did. 2 small channels spoke up for him and saw the strength in seeing 5,000 black men and women in unison, suited and booted. But everybody else looked for everything negative to say. And I'm talking about black people. They'll talk about all the negative. Then they forgot. I said, well,
can I ask you a question on that one? Can I ask you a question on that one? On the Grandmaster J, the NFAC. Do you think that it's, and I'm just gonna say it because of the aspect of how we see black people act to organizations that say that they're for us, right? Do you think that people didn't support it because they've been burned too many times, or do you think nobody supported it because there was nobody to speak on who this random person was?
Well, I think they didn't say nothing because they're cowards, because everybody is a random person, in all honesty. People who don't know me, oh, who the hell is that random person on YouTube? If they don't know Jeannie, who the hell is that? So and you can be a random person to anybody. But I think black people, I'm gonna be honest, black men, and it's insulting to me. When I say that, it bothers me because I've heard black women say it so many times when I'm at the gun range and I'm teaching black women how to shoot, how black men have let them down, and it was black men all over social media. So we gonna have to look in the mirror and say, white people didn't stop us. We fucking stopped us because we cowards. They didn't stop us. It was black people that dumped on him. So when white people did go after him, they knew because they listened. So they knew he didn't have no backup because they knew black people wouldn't with him. So when we say people didn't, once again, I got a small, but I had somebody on my channel who interviewed. I also had somebody, that same person, him, and 3 other friends who said, and I know black people get mad at me when I say this, if you want people to do something for you, sometimes keep some of that negative ish to yourself. Who got together and said, you know what? We're tired of out here talking about doing something for black people. So when we turn on social media, turn on YouTube, the only thing they talk about is the negative about the NFAC. Oh, everybody laughing. Somebody accidentally got shot in Louisville, Kentucky. Oh, they so dumb and stupid. I was in the United States Army. You know how quick I was in this man's army. You know how they had to rush us, emergency evacuate us from a field exercise because they shot the tank at the wrong range. And if we hadn't moved, it would have killed us. But it was black folks that did that. So sometimes we gonna have to look in the mirror and say, what the hell did we do wrong?
Or the white boys who threw on blasting caps and blow their faces off.
Yes, white folk did what they did, and they gonna do what they gonna do. But then sometimes we got to look at us and be like, damn, man, we got to do better. Everything can't be negative. So then when you show the positive, well, when they arrested them white boys for Ahmaud Arbery, it was the NFAC that went down there and stood in front of that house and gave them an ultimatum. You got 5 days to come get them. Black people, well, see, this is why they did it, see, because he an agent and the police knew. And that's the thing. And it gets so hard trying to be black sometimes around black people. I'm black, but sometimes it get hard because what we do is we run one another off. So when you hear somebody say, I'm tired, black people, we run each other away. Like Shaniqua, because we fight over anything. Then sometimes, you know what? I'm tired of fighting black people. Just like my little homeboy said, him and his friends, and I supported them when they said they're going to do their thing and they ain't worried about this, and they got their crew and they going to protect themselves. And whatever happened to these people on social media that's constantly thinking of all the conspiracies and all the conspiracies and everything else to say negative about them, they on their own. My little homeboy was leaving his 3-month-old baby at home to go out there and march. He was leaving his 3-month-old baby and stand face to face with white nationals who want to kill him. Not Jews, white nationals. Well, they're all the same to me. Out there with guns and bullets, suited and booted. Got the white folks running to the police begging, talking about what the NFAC gonna do to them because it's too many. But black folks didn't want to talk about that. So white folks did what they did, but sometimes the only way we gonna fix our mess if we accept the bullshit that we do. And pardon my French on your channel.
All right, I'm gonna let Black Maggot speak, and then I'm gonna go to the last thing, and cut it short. We'll go to the next thing next time. Yeah, Raw, it's the we got we are cloned, Raw. They just make us produce us at this point. Go ahead, Black Maggot.
Yeah, I just want to veggie back on what Bakari was saying to actually say that he is true when it comes to, you know, brothers who join the service. Most people do it because they just down and out. You ain't got 2 pennies to rub together, let alone maybe even a piece of lint. I know after Hurricane Katrina, I had nothing. So it was like, what you gonna do? Military. But that's how they get. That's really, it's that integration that's inside of things like the service, right? Because they teach what? Camaraderie. What's something that a lot of brothers who come from impoverished or, you know, just ghetto stricken, or whatever we want to call it, just neighborhoods where they grew up, and the point of evil or the image of evil to them was a black person, especially if it was a black man, you know, being a drug dealer. Now they go into the service, there's a camaraderie, and they see a different reason to want to integrate with people who are not of them, don't care about them. You know, let's get this mission done and things like that. But you still You know, you still an N-word to them. I can tell you just myself from being stationed in Georgia. You know, I was stationed in 2 different spots in Georgia, and you can see it. You know, you step out of the the base, and you got the Confederate flags there. They're on base, and there are Confederate flags there. And what, I just drove to Georgia and back. You know, actually just finished that yesterday. And what did I see in Georgia? What did I see in Tennessee? What did I see in Kentucky? Hell, what did I see in Illinois? What did I see in Kansas? Those are the states I had to drive through. I see Confederate flags across I-70 the entire way in every last single state. Like, that ain't nothing to be afraid of, though. These people are unbashful about who they are. Why should we be afraid of who we are? That's going to take that, as you know, I said earlier, and Sister Shanique definitely build on, is that we're going to have some kind of level of maturity about us to stop letting these damn, you know, any kind of ideology, any ideologues, anything we're using to separate ourselves, other than the actual criminal. And I don't mean the criminal who white society has told us is a criminal. I don't mean the criminal who, you know, maybe is trying to actually reform themselves. I mean these dyed in the wool, have seats of so-called power. That's the people I'm talking about. I'm talking about your Supreme Court justices. I'm talking about all of your politicians. I'm talking about your Fortune 500 bootlicks. Those are the people I'm talking about. The people who don't have power, you know, reduced to guard dogs, but no bite. That's who these people are, and they use their fangs on us. Let's not let these bastards tell us who we are. Like that, who's the Republican politician out of is it North Carolina or South Carolina, who's coming out saying we need to get rid of even Black History Month? That's, for us to even allow something like that to be said, and a congregation of Black people don't come out to attack him. Not only does that speak to the cowardice of us, but we just allowed this Negro to spit on the memory of our ancestors and the memory of the ancestors who fought for us to document our history, for bringing Black History Week to us. We got to stop these Negroes right then and there. Let's be preemptive about this so-called civil war on the Negro. We have to be preemptive about it. It is time for us to remove those silly differences. Let's take that moral base and let's build.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna have to do a thing next time about a civil war, right? You know, but I won't say nothing about that right now, right? Shanique, you wanted to say something? Because I want to go to the last thing, and then matter of fact, I'm gonna show this last thing, right? You know, because this is another part of it, you know, and then I'm gonna let y'all go around, all right? Let me see. Now I'm only showing this last thing, right? Y'all see this? This is in Georgia, Bakari, just because you on here. Now I wonder, you know what I'm saying, if you do get reparations, you know what I'm saying, how would you feel about that? You know what I'm saying?
You know, the same county's Black residents over the last 3 centuries, as well as the potential for reparations to their descendant. It is now passed. Let me give you background on the study. And
all right, let me see. I didn't mean I even have it, John. But yeah, I just wanted to show you that, you know what I'm saying, that's in Georgia. But you know, speaking of that, listen to this brother who's a Republican, you know what I'm saying? This is a brother here. And you know, I get that we saying, you know what I'm saying, like particular groups or whatever, but You know, that they compete for different spots, you know what I'm saying? And the thing is, we are not competing. We are just assimilating, you know.
Well, first of all, if they study the issue of reparations, a lot of white people are going to be or should receive reparations because we all intertwine and intermingle now. But that is no more than paralysis of analysis. What we need to do is go forward. If anything, truth and reconciliation. We can all say, hey, you know what? That was a bad part of our country. That was the biggest sin. However, we're moving forward. And how do we move forward? By creating opportunities for people to open businesses, to be gainfully employed, to achieve the American dream. That's what they want. It's too late for 40 acres and a mule. Nobody's looking for that. What people are looking for is access to the American dream. If you open those doors, that is reparation, and everybody can benefit from those reparations. Everybody.
Can you expand on that a little bit? You were talking about how white and African Americans are mixed so much now. Could you expand on that? Are you saying it would just be difficult to implement?
Well, what's the common denominator? Actually, now I'm going to say something probably people want to probably take issue with it, but let's start with Africa in terms of reparations. That's where we were sold from. As a matter of fact, we need to have a conversation with Africa for African Americans. That's where we came from. That's where we were sold from. So if we're going to really do this, let's go back to where it started. And let's see whose fingers are really on this and go from there. But we just can't willy-nilly. We're just going to do it based on DNA tests. How are you going to do it? It's all right to talk about it, but do I think there's an injustice done to blacks in this country? Absolutely, including my father, who was a World War II veteran, who was not treated fairly.
And look, I gotta say this real quick because I meant to say this, right? Because y'all was talking about the military in that's no excuse. They had to do that in 1919, but the brothers came back and defended their neighbor, or 1917, but they ended up having this red summer because they understood the situation, you know. If you like play the spook that sat by the door, but you really don't do nothing to use it, then you just like the spook who sat by the door. You know what I'm saying? That's all you are. You feel me? Like you can use it for greater, but do we do that, or do we just do what we are programmed to do? You know what I'm saying? What our coonship tells us.
But he loved this country. Still the best country on earth. However, let's look at. If we want to look at reparations, let's look at it in the form of giving people opportunities, making sure our children are educated so they can compete globally, making sure if anybody wants to be able
all right, I get the point. So I'll let that be the last one. Shanique, go ahead, and then we'll go back around.
I don't know whether to cry or laugh. I was trying to stop laughing at this bobblehead just talking, and honestly, this is insanity that he should even speak these words. This to me explain when he first said, well, white people would get it too because of how we're so intermingled. I felt like he was telling himself maybe his white wife might benefit from it if he got reparations. The truth of the matter, and I don't know if she's white wife. I just know that that's one issue that he was kind of alluding to the truth. I mean, there's a lot of muddy water, but to say that anybody other than Black people deserve any reparations is the utmost and asinine statements I've ever heard at all. Okay, I don't get it. I feel like you've got people who are Black who say, "Oh, I'm Republican, I'm a Democrat." When have they ever done anything for us? If they had, show it to me, the results, because every tree produces fruit. I'm just trying to see the fruit. And when he talks about opportunities, why would you need to be given opportunities? If everyone else is seeing opportunities, then they aren't given to them. So obviously, then we have been withheld opportunities outside of those that were taken. So the fact that there is not a whole bunch of Black people saying we will not vote at all, no, do it yourself, is crazy to me, because honestly, there's not anything happening that comes out of that of a benefit for us. And the fact that we don't see that frustrates me. It frustrates me because you've got independence, you got all this other stuff. Don't participate. Create your own thing. You say we can create our own thing. Create our own thing. The fact that there are Bloods and Crips tells us we can create things, and they still haven't been able to get a hold on that. So obviously, if we simply rise up, like literally rise up, like get on the same page that, okay, we can't lay down any longer. We can't just have our knees on our necks and people shoot us in the back and in the front and all of these things and smack us with our babies. Like, this is insanity to me that this is still going on. And we want to get in the military? America's the best country in the world? What? It's insane. I'm going to shut up because I'm so overwhelmed with emotion about this that I cannot produce any real ideas. I think that there has to be some real idea on what to do forward. And if it's not that we collectively decide on this date in this year, we go and do something, and we've planned and we've trained. Like, if we're supposed to be training for something, then let's train for it. But maybe we need to speak in code in general, because obviously everyone wants to know what we're planning and we haven't gotten anything accomplished yet. But we really need to get a plan and do it, and not think that anyone else is going to help us. I've never heard of anybody helping someone overthrow them. It sounds insane. I yield.
All right. So look, we gonna go around because I ain't gonna be on here too much longer. And then Hardcore came on here. He ain't been on here since he must have took JFK holiday off for a while or something. I don't know. But
nah, they shut me down for a while.
Oh damn. Okay. But I gotta let everybody speak because they've been waiting for a long time. And then I'm gonna let you come on, and then I'm gonna close out. All right, so go ahead.
Can I go right quick? Okay, I'm sorry, because I was out, but go ahead.
Oh, you about to leave?
Yeah, I'm gonna be able to listen, but I ain't gonna be able to talk.
All right, go ahead. Well, yeah, this is about Georgia anyway. You probably voted for dude anyway, and then so what you gonna do with your reparations? You gonna give it back, Bakari? What you gonna do?
I ain't gonna be no reparations, but I can say this: he wouldn't lie. If you follow the ADOS and FBA plan for reparations, he went on. They say it's lineage based. Because he's a politician, we'll go in on him, but we won't go in on the people on social media. I ain't going in on nobody, but I'm just saying. But we won't go in on the people on social media that say it's lineage based. And if they say their lineage started here in 1619, so who's all in their lineage? He's saying what a whole lot of black people been saying. He just said it the way they don't want to say it because they scared y'all gonna call him a coon. It's lineage based. Our lineage started here in 1619. So now in order to do lineage, you're gonna do your Dana, which is DNA. And who all gonna be up in there? That's why I said if you got reparations, black people wouldn't get for $2.42 because everybody is black. Black people has made everybody black, and it's just like they got. And I don't even care about no engines, because as far as I'm concerned, the white folks is engines shit. But folks be talking about $5 engines. They're gonna have $3 black folks, $2 black folk. It don't make a difference because we have made everybody black. So in all honesty, if you're following the so-called new reparations plan, the dude really is telling the truth. White people deserve some too because of their lineage, and you all would have the same lineage because we came out the ground as a slave in 16. He said the same stuff they say, and we need to go look at Africa first because we were sold from there. He said the same thing they say. That's why I say people be listening. He just said it in a more direct way. And on that note, I'm just gonna listen offline. Peace, one love.
Hey, Bakari, so that means you're gonna give you a check back then? That's what you're trying to say? You're gonna give you a check back?
It ain't gonna be but $2.42. They can have it. It ain't gonna be but $2. Everybody gonna be black.
Okay.
That's the point that I'm making. If it's going off lineage, everybody is gonna be black. Shit, you got somebody on your panel right now tell you Abraham Lincoln was black, John Madden was black, J. Edgar Hoover was black. Come on, dude. You gonna get $2.42. But don't call them. Don't say no African in their Dana though. You'll get $2.42 because everybody is black, so they can keep their $2.42.
No, because it's gonna be $2.42 a month. Hey, that add up, man. You say that up every 12 months. Yay.
Because everybody is black. It's based on your lineage forecast, based on where your life started here in 1619. I'm just saying. So what all would be in the lineage? Due through rape, and we the only, we really want slave owners, like the one dude did, is for the slave master and the slaves to understand that they are slave master need to accept the slave who I had, and I lost it. United States flag, proud.
Hey, Bakari, you are messing up, Bakari. You hear me? Yo, Bakari, you hear me?
No, he don't hear you.
Yeah, he probably out voting for dude right now. I don't know. Him running the campaign for dude right now.
2040 cents.
You ain't lying.
All right. He gonna turn that check down though, I guess, Bakari. But you done, my brother? Can you hear me? I don't know. Bakari must be out.
Yeah, he probably need to back out and come back in.
Yeah. Yeah, John got hacked today. But go ahead, Oni.
Oh yeah, reparations. Yeah, that's like I'll agree with Bakari. Ain't no reparations coming for black people. Like yeah, the odds of that is low, you know. And I mean, and even if it were like the way we seeing it is that you got to be in a particular city, you got to be in a particular state, and you know the money's not going to be there, you know. I was just kind of surprised that dude was a Democrat, you know. I figured a Republican would say that kind of dumb shit, you know. And you said he won? That's wild.
No, yeah.
But he won or he lost? What was he? Like he was running for president or running for whatever he was running for? Or he's a politician right now? He a lawmaker?
No, he's just a politician in Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? And he's just like on the council opposing the reparations that's supposed to be in Georgia or whatever.
Dang, okay. But yeah.
I think he's a Republican though. I think he like one of them black Republicans though.
Nah, they said they had a D next to his name.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. In the video, it showed the D. I don't know. I thought he would have been a Republican for real. But yeah. Nah, there's no rep. I mean, because it's like when that reparation come, it'll be like, first off, it's going to cause inflation, right? But if it don't cause like when they give out some kind of money, it's already going to be inflation. You know what I mean? It's like you just be giving out paper, you know? Plus, I think somebody, you know, I was actually talking to that robot, you know, ChatGPT, and it's like, and it's agreeing with everybody else, you know, saying, look, man, you know, y'all just dealing with fiat cash. You know, y'all just dealing with fiat money, and its value is based on trust. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking if a government really was like, you know, did that kind of shit, like it loses its trust. It loses its value. You know, the money loses its value once you start giving it to black folk. You know? Oh, when you start giving billions or trillions to black folk. You know what I mean? Now the 200,000, that's probably doable, you know, and I wouldn't mind a piece of that. I mean, obviously I won't get it, but I wouldn't mind a piece of that. But like, yeah, I mean, but like the odds of the US government doing right by black folk, it's like, come on. You know, like it's just like what kind of fairy tale? Like black folk be in this fairy tale, and that's where I'm just taken aback. But that's all I'm gonna say.
All right, definitely. Black Megas, you want to say something?
So I'll give you an example of something Bakari was saying, right? Like to a specific dollar amount. Colorado was the first state to legalize marijuana, right? Recreationally. There was the first year an excess tax that they gathered from the industry. They didn't think it was going to generate, I think it was 1.6 billion, somewhere around that number. This is tax money. So as we know, this means this is already free money to the state. You know, they're going to say that we're going to put it into programs and to fix highways and stuff like that. But if you look at what Colorado is, especially the Denver area, it's constantly rezoning so that it can absorb the smaller cities around it to make Denver itself bigger, so that Denver becomes a huge municipality. The more people who reside in that municipality must do what? They must pay taxes. So Denver is eating good. It's eating good. And so they put out a proposition that following year to give the money back. Well, let me rephrase that. Of course, people fought to get that money, and they got a proposition put up for voting. And the proposition was to Proposition AAA was to put the money, to give the money back to the people. And when you got your check, because I don't know if it won and I don't know if it lost. I think it did win. But when all was said and done, anyone who was a resident in the state during that time received, I believe it was a tune of like $8. It was about $8. Now, Proposition BBB was to give the money back to the state. They were going to put, I believe, because there was about 66 million left. So they were going to put 44 into state-run programs, more towards drug. And it's like, how do you have actual, marijuana teaching classes on drug safety and stuff like that for students? We already know that's false, because the same way liquor and cigarettes, once that became legal to be sold on the store corner, teenagers were in there buying it. So teenagers are definitely buying it, but it's all for show. They have to funnel the money around, and after they chopped it all up, I believe 14 million was going to be unallocated, and they said, can we put this in a special trust for the city? And so you can see it's constant. We just paying ourselves. That's all it is. So when it comes to reparations, they'll just be paying themselves. Now, do I believe it would actually happen? Hell no. I don't believe reparations would ever happen. It must be taken. And as Bobby Wright has definitely told us, we shouldn't be expecting small trinkets from these people. Blood deaths have to be paid in blood. Whether we believe that we're strong enough for it or not, we have to believe in something. You have to believe that you are at least fighting towards that type of goal. I don't care if it seems hyperbole to some people or not, but some people are dyed in the world about wanting to fight, and let those people have that. But if reparations did happen, guess what? It is upon that man, that woman to do with that check whatever the hell they want. We have to accept that. We have to accept that. They will do with the money whatever they want. And if they want to go right back to the same people who created the problem, let them do it. And I will end with this. I tell you now, it's already in the works. It's already being tested. I believe Oregon was the first place that said that they were going to do reparations. If I believe I'm correct on that one. And now we're hearing it out of California. Well, here we go. Let's do the race politics. Okay, let's get the hatred going. They say black people are going to get reparations. What do you think that's going to mean to the podunk white folk? Oh yeah, these ends is getting that money. They're going to put a target on our backs. Hell, they painted a target on our backs by just saying that we're considering it. Okay, that's going to instantly infuriate them, and then it's going to be an attack on us. And hell, we haven't even gotten anything. That's why when we talk about, people don't understand with, and I don't, of course, like using the word supremacy, but I'll use it in this term of when people don't understand what racism, white supremacy is, or what racism is in a whole, is that you have the power to implement, to push your ways upon others. And because black people don't do anything, they will allow themselves to be powered and toppled over.
All right, definitely. All right, so go ahead, Hardcore, and then we're gonna let everybody close out. What you wanted to say, Hardcore?
Yeah, what's up? Man, I tell you, man, when you hear Uncle Tom representatives like that guy read from their script, number one, it's no surprise, but it's just hard to accept that they recite their script with a straight face and a true belief in what they're saying, because the script apparently says do whatever you can to hate on the black people. You can call them victims in the past. They like to frown upon victims today. Yes, the white, and they like to make sure that they don't say that the white man was the victimizer, but we know who it was. You don't deserve any type of reparations for having been a victim. And on top of that, these guys, they say it as if they're not the black people themselves too, which is funny. We don't deserve any reparations. We have to share it with everyone. But other people, they can get their own personal reparations. You got illegal Mexicans coming here. They can get free driver's license credentials without taking the test. And you look around the country and see how many accidents are being caused, wrong way accidents or any other kind of accidents, and just read the names and you'll see who's at fault with these. They get fake credentials, free housing, free college. They get put in movies, everything you could think of. They get the hookup. They get forced hookup. But the people who put the work in this country and made this country what it became, unique and the greatest, we get dissed. And we get dissed by Uncle Tom House Negro representatives who act as if the white man can't defend himself or speak for himself. So they volunteer to become a coon spokesman for white supremacy. And he's also talking himself out of a check too, all these type of guys, if he's a black American, that is. And, everybody who critiques and says they're not going to give us nothing, hey, they may not. But if they would, for whatever reason, whether it's a Masonic thing or what have you, why do you want to speak against it to make sure that they don't give you anything? I mean, that doesn't make any damn sense unless you know you're not going to be qualified to begin with. Because everybody who says hate the white man, I guarantee you, if the white man says everybody gets $10 million apiece, they're going to take the check. I get there's not going to be one that's too proud to say, I don't want that from the white man. I'm not taking none of his money. You know they're going to take the money. But these coons, it's sad that they're out here, but they're out here. They always have the same type of Uncle Tom accent, the same exact talking points, which lets you know that it's from a script. It's just unfortunate. Like when they say that we're our own worst enemy, it's not only the Pookies and the Ray Rays, it's these Uncle Toms on the other end. And that's the sad thing. A lot of these Uncle Toms are actually intelligent and well-spoken, but they're anti-black and they're anti themselves, these Uncle Tom conservatives. And it doesn't matter whether or not they're people who try to act like they're from the streets and switch up their lingo and then come back to Uncle Tom talk. They're all the same. Uncle Tom conservatives who are pro-white, anti-black. Now, I'd like to hear from one of them who can tell me why they're anti-black, if they ever dare to tell you that, because white people don't need them to speak for them unless they just need a black face to say the hardcore stuff that white people don't want to say, but they still think it and act it. But, reparations and, they're definitely talking about it a lot. So it's either one big hustle, big distraction from something else that might be going down, or it might be on the horizon. But whatever the case is, they're going to keep on talking about it and talking about it and talking about it until you see either one city, town, or state put something forth. Then it's just going to be more phantom relief. But like I always say, when you watch these movies, you look around, I see Mexican promotion every damn where. In these movies, I'm seeing less and less black people. I was watching John Wick 4. And like a lot of movies, you see the only black people are foreigners. It's like, damn, they're really trying to cross us out of these movies, but you keep seeing Mexican types. You got to be aware of that. And with that, I'm out.
All right, yeah. I appreciate you coming through. But I'll say this, and it's interesting that you mentioned movies, right? Because and that's what I was saying. The only thing that can explain everything that we heard today is if we like straight clones. And at the end, they was like, the goal is total assimilation, raw. You know what I'm saying? And that's the only thing that can explain it. So that, and I'm only saying this, right, because if you notice, right, I said the title is "Will the Real Self Please Stand Up?" And we talked a lot about what other people do to protect their culture and all of this stuff, but that's the point. You know what I'm saying? We respond like robots, because I have questions about the Civil War. Like, all right, like, what side are you going to be on, and how many different divisions is it going to be? You know what I'm saying? Like, who's going to be against who? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I can tell you who's going to be against who. It's going to be black people against everybody else. That's what the hell it's going to be.
But that's the thing. Y'all say black people first, though. You say y'all always say that, but we got to go after black people first. And who's the coons here? You know what I'm saying? Who's going after who?
I'm glad you brought that up, because I forgot that guy did say black people are mixed with white people and suggesting that we're the same. But goddamn, if we're the same, I want my white privilege. Shit. And that starts with reparations. And I don't give a damn. I don't see how a white person can claim reparations unless they're mixed. But I don't give a damn if somebody else gets something, as long as if it's an equal share, as long as I get mine. So all that other talk, I don't give a damn about. That's just Uncle Tom talk.
All right. So I'm gonna let Shanique go in. You got something to say, Shanique?
Oh, where to begin? Okay. Well, it's funny because I was trying to keep it light in terms of how much I go in. But okay, so the truth of the matter is I have full belief that they will start assigning this so-called reparations. I can't imagine that it will be pennies, only because it's going to be enough that the rest of the people who are not so-called African Americans will be enraged, and so begins it. Because see, the reason I believe they'll give it is because the scriptures say it. And when they give it, it's going to be an issue, but we will leave this place with quite a bit that's written. Everybody needs to do their own research on that. But because the point of it is, people want to think that, it doesn't matter whether you have a belief in something other than just being black. But sadly, it does, because if we believe, okay, we're black, okay, that's where we are right now. We can't help but believe that we're black. We are, right? Or whatever label you want to put on it. We all of us that are receiving the same treatment in this country have something in common. As far as the reparations aspect beforehand, as to how much and how and all of that, those questions weren't asked when the Japanese got it. They weren't asked when the Native Americans got it. It wasn't that big a deal. So it will happen, but trust you me, sadly, there's going to be a whole lot of people who won't know what to do with it because they don't have a clue right now, because it doesn't matter to them they're black, because they give away their seed just fine to everything else and everyone else. And that's what that guy was speaking about when I think he alluded to it rather, when he said that, white people will be involved in it as well. Because, right, what is it? Hardcore just said, there's a lot of mixed people. Yes, because that's part of it. This inclusion has to be so much that ideas are included, that genetics are included, all of these things where the actual black people that really will deserve, not because you did anything to us, but because they did do something to us. Leave it. They did do something to us, but it's because we are entitled to something because the Most High said we're entitled to it. And that's my firm belief. So when it comes to, the dividing lines, it has to be more than just, I'm a fight because I'm Black, because a lot of people don't give a flying. You have to really have a true, seriously embedded belief and be willing to die for it. And if there's anything I wholeheartedly am willing to die for the Most High Yah, because he gave me my life and that's why I'm here. Now, the rest of it, we're going to do what we're going to do. Everybody's going to take whatever side they want. And they're going to have whatever appeasement that's given to them, because right now the appeasements may be federal funding. It may be so-called freedom. It may be, they're going to give you education. What was it one suggested? We're going to give you programs and housing, and healthcare, any of this stuff, the things that we talk about on a micro level, how healthcare is given to us is poison. We know this. Education, like all of the things that are being touted as something as a benefit, we know that every time it may very well have been a good thing, it's been twisted and contorted to be a poison to us. So we have to get a clue. I suggest we all do our research. I suggest we all come up with, choose your side. And it can't just be because you're Black, because people have proven they don't care. They don't care that they're Black. All right. So where do your allegiances lie? Are you a Christian? Do you believe in Christ? Is it Jehovah? Is it Allah? What is the thing you're willing to die for? Because it isn't because your Black children, your Black wives, your Black mothers, your Black fathers, your Black sons. It's not because of that. So it has to be something bigger than that. But it is going to play out a certain way. And I wholeheartedly believe that when it does play out, 2/3 will be fodder. They will be stubble. They will be manure on the ground. And the rest will leave with the very things that the Most High said we will. Great substance. I just want to make sure that I express that fully, because yes, we have to fight hard. But if we don't get the clue that it has to be a wholehearted, I'm willing to die for this belief, then we can continue like we are. And I say, then make your decisions to just get whatever you can get out of this existence right now. And I think that people are doing that, and some are succeeding and some are not, but you can't be half behind with it. Go hard to be a coon, if that's what you're going to be. Go hard to be indifferent. Go hard to be unmixed. Go hard to be for everybody, but go hard for something. I yield.
Yeah, and Shanique, and I want you to say your last words too, because I'm gonna close up after this, John, too. So, say your last words too.
Okay, so my last words are, we've gained the idea that we need to educate our own children. I believe that, and I intend to implement that more fully. I think that we all need to look at the place that we're in, and people get stumbled by the word captivity, but unless you have a real stake in this place that you live in, you're a captive. Unless you can decide, they said, was it 2024? People can't leave this country without a visa to go to Europe. So unless you can decide where you go and when you go, you are a captive. So I think we really need to start taking a serious interest in the existence that we have in these bodies that we inhabit, and determine, okay, what am I going to do? And am I going to make a mark? And am I willing to friggin' in this existence for that thing? So ideology is out the window, but you better make a decision on something for yourself, for your children, something. I yield. Thank you.
All right. Hardcore for law, but it was on Black Magus anyway. Black Magus. You on mute if you're talking.
All right, there we go. Man. So we doing closeout, right?
Well, no, I want you to say what you was gonna say, and then
okay,
after that, yeah,
okay.
So, let me ask you, what do you think about everything that was said? You know what I'm saying? Pretty much,
I mean, hey, bro. It's the love, it's the energy. I feel it being reciprocated through our speech tonight. And I'll definitely tell you that when it comes to like I don't know what you want to say. Well, I'm going to say religion because I don't feel like any black person is practicing actual spirituality. We're all practicing a religion, and until we drop even religion and get back to African spirituality, I don't think we're going to ever see eye to eye really in that aspect. But it's not something that I'm going to use to to see a division between us, because even John Henry Clark has said that it's okay to actually practice religion, but just put the spirituality back into it. We're really having that type of synergy tonight, I'm hearing, with the sister Shanique. And it really builds upon the energy that's needed. And actually, Sister Shanique, are you on Instagram?
I am under
Okay.
my name. Yeah.
Okay, my brother Conrad for the Straight Black Pride, and I'm just gonna throw this out to you. You see, again, bridge building. That's something that I definitely pride myself on being. I do IT networking under Cracker tutelage. I will say it was my own dream and aspects, of course, of wanting to do it, but that's what I've been more trained in doing. And so we have to understand that whenever we step into these people arena to learn anything from them, then we need to also bring that stuff back into our community, make it better for us. And so networking computers is what I do on the plantation, but networking our people is what my community building is about. And so with Straight Black Pride, we've been looking for a sister to bring that fire, to bring that energy. And we're just, we're scouting. So if you would be interested in just having a couple of questions back and forth, I would be definitely shooting a message to you on Instagram.
Okay, definitely. Give me your info and I'll look at it and start doing it right now.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's
yeah, you
yeah.
can put it in the chat, yeah.
Yeah, it's just all one word, Black Family Vanguard. You'll actually see this icon once you find the page. Now,
Great.
to speak to something that Bakaria was saying, right, with the NFAC. I don't think I felt any special way about him because I didn't know the brother. I just seen it, didn't really know what they were about. It's closer around the time that it was put in the press that I think one of the brothers shot himself in the leg, that I even heard anything about him. And because that was the only thing I knew about him, I was like, oh, look at these jokers here. But that ignorance has greatly been corrected on my end because I support the brother Othal. This is a man minding his own business and is assaulted by a police officer. And we are not watching as this man is someone who we should be standing up for. We're looking as the media is telling us what's a win for Black people. But we're not looking literally at the biggest win. If anyone is studying the brother's case, there's a brother on YouTube, I believe it's Kenyan to the number 2. I can't remember the last part, but he constantly updates us on what's going on with the brother's case. And he released the details on this police officer, someone who literally a week upon the day that he was taken out like he should have been, he just got off of a suspension for harassing Black people. Like, this thing is a slam dunk case. And the biggest thing that wins a case is the publicity, is the support of the community. This is what we should be talking about. I just literally today got off of Instagram suspension. That is going to be my opening live. I'm definitely going to get on doing that sometime before Sunday. I definitely will have to do that. This is the person that we should be using as the example of what a win is. No more these cops is killing us in the streets. Look, you can stand your ground. Stand your ground. What I just seen another story earlier today that a homeless, and check this out, a homeless brother minding his own business gets assaulted by two little crackers. The crackers leave, they come back, harass him again. They start walking towards their vehicle. He fears that they're going to go get a gun, so he shoots them, blows them away. I believe he injured one and murdered the, well, in self-defense, he killed the other. He didn't murder him, he killed him. You know, this brother gets arrested and he's being charged for murder. He stood his ground because when the police came and they investigated that SUV, guess what? The crackers had a small firearm tucked in between the seats. So it is definitely possibly true that they were going to retrieve a firearm. But yet here we go again. Are we going to stand up as a people to point this stuff out? We have wins all around us. Walk away from these mainstream narratives. Walk away from these clowns who are not being holistically true in what they are doing and what they are saying. It is easy to point out who the charlatans are. It is easy to point out who is your modern day Al Sharpton, your modern day Jesse Jackson, hell, your modern day TD Jakes. They just got a different hustle. They ain't not pushing religion. They pushing a different type of hope. They're pushing an identity hope. That's how you get this politician here. Oh, you know, it's lineage based. Pushing the same thing I hear B1 people say. We got to get away from. Man, look here. To be completely honest, I know there are good men and women who follow under the B1 mindset, just like there were good or are good-hearted black men and women who follow under the Black Lives Matter mindset. And every other thing out here that is supposed to be black. There are good-hearted black people in all of these things. Those are the people who I speak to. Those are the people I want to reach out to. The coons are going to be who they are. Don't let them keep you down. Let's show them. Maybe you don't have to be a coon if you can look at something where you see we have a win. If we can't just have the simplest conversation with these folks first, I mean, not all of them now. We already know there are some who there ain't no talking to. And whatever has to be done will be done. But we at least have to give our brothers and sisters a chance. We like quoting that which other races have done. Okay, it was done in China. And who did, oh man, I don't want to mess up his name. Mao Zedong, I believe. Or was that Vietnam? I know I've messed it up. Ho Chi Minh, there we go. I believe. You know, he studied Garvey. He studied Garveyism. He studied that which gave him the win. Took it back to his people. Said, you're going to get rid of this opium. I'm going to give you a certain amount of time. If you're still on it, you gone. We Xing you out. And they took out those who still were on it. Everybody else, yo, it's time for China to dominate. Yeah, we're gonna turn ourselves into the whores of Western society, but watch all the wealth we're gonna build. That's the same reason why they obscured North Korea, and they want to tell us what North Korea is about through the eyes of Dennis Rodman. We don't really know. I've been to South Korea, so I can tell you a little bit about what North Korea is. It is not as bad as it's really made out to be. And that's the same thing that we know about what? About hate, IAT. They badmouth it all the time. We have wins all around us. We need to start using those and showing that to our people.
All right, definitely, and I'll definitely with the radio show, I definitely I'll look for. I'm gonna hit you up. Well, it probably will be too late today, so I'm gonna hit you up tomorrow. I'm gonna just text you whatever good time. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely, brother.
All right, hardcore.
Yeah, I have to say this, man. We got a lot of coons and anti-black people out here. And the sad part is many of them are black, whether or not they're thugs on the one end of the spectrum or Uncle Tom, handkerchief head, house Negroes on the other. I could make the argument that the Uncle Tom is more dangerous than the Pookie and the Ray Ray. And I could also make the argument that they're more dangerous for the everyday lives of black people than the Pookie and Ray Ray. And some people might object because the Pookie and Ray Ray, they're around every day, breaking into your homes, shooting up the place, selling drugs and what have you. But the Uncle Tom, they're involved in government, business. They can control more of our lives than the Pookie and Ray Rays can. And the Uncle Tom, for all the loudmouth talk that they have and the power that they've been given, not worked for, but given, notice how they never do anything to destroy the Pookie and Ray Rays. And they usually have the power and the connections to make it happen. But they don't really talk about the Pookie and Ray Rays. They don't do anything about them except when people attack their masters. Then they say, well, what about black on black crime? You know, that's their most famous line. Because they can't, that's the way to avoid talking about the white man and the realities of the white man. So they always have to bring up the black man to counter it. It's not about that. It's about, here we go with that Sambo stuff. The whole story is fiction, but we know what we're talking about when we say Uncle Tom. But
hey, by the way, have you ever seen Uncle Tom's Cabin?
Actually, I have not.
Okay, go ahead, my bad.
But I noticed that Uncle Tom's are always the ones that say, "Oh, it was Sambo who's the one that was the traitor, not Uncle Tom."
No, my bad. Goodbye, Uncle Tom. My bad.
Okay, yeah, I did see that.
Okay, yeah, that's the one I meant. My bad.
Okay, yeah, that was hardcore. But these Uncle Toms, usually called black conservatives, whether it's the Stephen A. Smith or Pan-Africanism Strikes Back or anybody else you could think of, a politician. These guys are very dangerous because they fear their master so much that they don't give a damn about black people. That's why they call black people the worst names every day. And they never call their master one name because they respect him. They want his money. They want the pat on the head, but they hate black people. That's why they always speak about black people as if there's some other type of person other than black. And I got news for you people. You can keep talking like that all you want to, but people have eyes. I mean, you're not fooling anybody. So you just need to stop doing what you're doing. But I've spoken to Uncle Tom's long enough to know that you can beg, you can plead, you can convince, you can even get them to admit what they're doing is wrong. But they're still going to do it. Just like the Pookie and Ray Rays, they're still going to do it. So the Uncle Toms and the Pookies and Ray Rays, we got to cut those ends off, and everybody left in the middle is good to go. With that, I'm out.
Man, oh man, y'all on the slippery slope here. Yeah, but real black gentlemen, this is the end, bro. Like I'll let you go ahead and say what you want to say.
No, I mean I watched the whole show. I mean all I want to say is about the whole Florida thing, right? I mean, look, I just see Florida as trying to like how would I say it, become like the new like border ground for like, you know what I'm saying, like America's like view onto like the Caribbean. That's just me. I see what's going on in the world. You know what I'm saying? I see it. I don't like it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what can I do about it? Like, let my people know, like, you know what I'm saying? You know, talk about some stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, let people know. I mean, people say rhetoric is, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's cheap, but it's talk. And if we don't talk, if we hold our breath, what's the point? That's all I had to say.
All right, definitely. And I'll say this, right? I hope that all of y'all be around when we talk about this Civil War, this Black Civil War thing, because I'll be like not clear on it, and it don't like rub. You know, it's just me. I don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? And yo, like when you be like the Sambo and the Uncle Tom and the Pookie and quote unquote Ray Ray. By the way, that's why we got to discuss it, because who fits into this class of Sambos? Because some people would consider some things saying some coonish things, you know what I'm saying? And it depends on where you draw the line, you feel me? And, you know, down to this whole thing, you know, and that's why, like, you know, even with this, like, because I was talking about this movie, you know what I'm saying? That movie that everybody be talking about, I got caught into the trance, you know what I'm saying? I listened to the whatever, and I followed the wave, you know. But it may be the only thing that can explain everything that we heard today, you know what I'm saying? Because we got to be clones saying the same things, you know what I'm saying, doing the same things over and over. And y'all like gave pretty good examples of all of that. And you know, the purpose is like, you know, will the real self please? I would have said something else, you know, maybe Negro, I don't know, maybe Black, or maybe N-word, I don't know, you know. But will the real one please stand up? Because being clones, that movie may be right. It may be true. You know what I'm saying? It may be we are the clones and, you know what I'm saying, we are being assimilated. But you know why I even talk about the Filipinos? Because they be like, yo, they're the Blacks of the Asians. But when you look at the dark-skinned people, they got their own kind of caste system where the darker-skinned people is following the same thing all across the board. And we are on this tribalism thing like super bad, and I understand it, because I think that differences we should be proud of, you know what I'm saying? But we don't capitalize off of it. You know what I'm saying? We have been programmed, you know what I'm saying? The coon chip has been activated in all of us, because I can say things that make y'all probably all argue with each other, you know what I'm saying? Like, but you know, that's the whole purpose. We find ways to do that all the time. So yeah, go ahead, Shanique.
Well, I just wanted to say this. I wanted to clarify something, because my belief, and not to pick at anyone, but my belief is not about religion. I think when you say may the real, I think it's me. I know exactly who I am. I know that my culture has been hijacked by every religious charlatan that exists, and that's why we're all caught up and confused. If we realized that we as a people who are subjugated, and you know who you are and who you aren't, and maybe we need to institute paper bag tests or whatever else again, I don't know. But I know my experience in this country has been unique for a reason. And it is not about my color, actually. It's about because there is a spiritual understanding of who I am, the greatness that exists in this shell. That is me. And if there's others that have that understanding, but then have to humble themselves to realize that they didn't crack out from an egg or come from an asteroid or evolve from apes like some people may have, then maybe they'll be willing to die to really give homage to that creator. But everybody else wants something else. You gotta want nothing that they have. I don't want anything they have, because it all belongs to me. And this guy used to say a long time ago, and I totally agree, I don't want their money, I want their blood. I think that we need to understand that this life is not worth anything if we're not running this whole friggin' thing, because it belongs to us. It's my birthright. That's what I want to make clear. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, I got you, Nick. And that's why we gonna have to continue it on another one. I know you turned out, but I do have to say the truth is, you know what I'm saying? Like all the stuff that everybody's been saying is kind of religious, you know what I'm saying? Like Harco got his religion, you know what I'm saying? You know,
He's all of them. That's not religion for me. It's not religion. There's not a church I don't need to go into. This is who I am. This is my heritage. Just like you got people who are Chinese, who are Buddhist, and there is no, oh, you can still being who I am. Everyone's trying to, but it's not religion. I don't believe in religion. We need to get out of religion and really get a clue. Like you said, black first, for a lack of a better term, that's what we need to get. And I'm sorry to cut you off, but I'm so, like you said, turn up.
Yeah. That's why I don't talk about that, because like understanding that, like, yo, whatever you believe, if you're on that for Black people stuff, we understand. One thing we can agree on is that our children is in danger. You know what I'm saying? We know that our grocery stores is terrible in our communities. We don't have to have the same, you know what I'm saying? And I don't think religion is a bad word, because it's supposed to provide you with like shelter and like protection, like the things you do religiously that uplift your culture. You know, I will only say, like, because you know me, I'm an advocate for updating your information and all of that stuff, but also accounting for history and everything that has happened in the history too, and then upgrading your information. So that's just me on that. But you know, I ain't trying to get into the religious stuff, you know, but all right, so y'all got anything else to say?
Yeah. Here, I'll give you one of my wins, right? And to back up what you're saying on the word religion. I beat having to take that so-called vaccine by following my medical exemption based on religion. To beat that battle, I had to know, what does the American workforce define religion as? Religion is just a strong belief in something, point blank, period. Therefore, I religiously felt like this thing violated my health, because no one would say that if I was damaged, would they, pay me, my family, for damages, that it was not approved for use. It only has an emergency use. Therefore, it's still in a trial phase. You can't make me take it. Geneva Convention. You can't use an experimental drug amongst the populace of people. You have to make them aware. And that's what they're not doing. They're not making people aware. And we use that for everything. When I say that they're making us not aware. Tonight was a very good program, brother. I really just want to end it with that. Check me out on IG. That's Black Family Vanguard, all one word. Gonna definitely be more on the radio station WSYP 95.1 FM. That's syndicated in Birmingham, Alabama, but it does broadcast out to a couple of other states. I'm just not sure of which ones, but you can go to WSYP951.com, the actual website, to tune in. And there's always programs playing. It's a lot of elders who are talking. They're just looking for the actual audience who's going to take that information and spread it out. That's all I got to say, brother. Hotel.
Yeah, thank you, my brother, for coming on here. Yo, you good, Harco?
Yeah, I said what I had to say.
Okay, I thought you wanted to say something. You wanted to salute which white group you want to salute, Harco? The Irish, the Italian?
What do you mean?
I my bad. I thought you wanted to salute somebody.
Oh no, you got me confused with Bakari.
Okay, no, because you say everybody black. You just say everybody black. That's all.
Oh no, that's not me. Matter of fact, I think that's kind of funny when you think about it. With all this reparation stuff, people start talking about mulattoes ain't black, and then you got people walking around saying ancient North Africans weren't black, and black people in the ancient world weren't black. It's like it's all being set up for something, and something can't be good because it's the same old stuff that's been getting talked about from what, the 30s, maybe even 20s up into the
like
70s.
1430. That's what I'm trying to. That's why I don't understand. Like, yo, we keep saying they're going to, like, you literally just like got like not even out of slavery yet. Like, what you mean they gonna do something? They've been doing this stuff this whole time. Like, we don't understand that part, you know.
Yeah, that's why I say the moment of truth, man. It's got to come soon because they position these Mexicans in to every place. Man, I was in New Jersey the other day. I mean, they are everywhere. Further upstate New York. My God. I mean, in places that you wouldn't even suspect. Matter of fact, I was in today I was in New York, upstate, Haverstraw, if anybody heard of that. I swear to you, I wasn't expecting to see any Mexicans up there, man. And lo and behold, they're there. I said, my God. And I'm saying they put them in place for a reason. And usually when you get new furniture in your house, you get rid of the old. And sometimes we may not really accept that until things start happening. Now, if it were not for that shot, see that shot that people took, I think that's the thing that's going to be a catalyst for whatever is supposed to be going down. But I ain't going to get specific because you're on YouTube and all that kind of stuff. And I'm sure they're still trying to regulate. But that's a key thing to look out for. Now, that can go either way, though. It can go taking care of us, or it could be taking care of everybody else. I guess time will tell.
Yeah, so it looks like in 21-23 we could be having this same conversation. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be the same clones that we already are, you know what I'm saying? And I appreciate y'all for coming on here, you know what I'm saying? But the point of that movie, I guess, was like, that's the only thing that can explain it, you know what I'm saying? How lost that we really are, and that's not to say anybody individually, but I hope that y'all all do come through on that when we talk about in Bakari too, this Black Civil War, because all of y'all say we's our own worst enemy. You know what I'm saying? Now, I want to see what side, like, would you survive the Coon test? Like, because to the next man, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I don't know if we would, you know what I'm saying? But that's just me. So I want to have that conversation, all right? You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate y'all for coming through. Shanique, thank you for coming through. Black Magus, Hardcore, Bakari, appreciate you, Raw. You know what I'm saying? Miss Vita, Real Black Gentleman came on here for a minute. Appreciate you. And shouts out to Erica Bawana. Consider definitely. I appreciate you. Highly favored. Maurice Muhammad came on here. All of y'all who be listening, Lightbearer, you know what I'm saying? All of y'all. But I will do this to let this be the last words because this is where we are, you know what I'm saying? And hopefully the real us will stand up and realize, you know what I'm saying, even if we is clones, we'll take over that cloneness and become the real things again, you know what I'm saying? And not have to talk about ancient history or nothing like that. So there we go. And yeah, Bakari, it's a crazy situation, but I'll let this be the last words, y'all.
My people, oh, my people, the sit-ins and the boycotts have worked. We are ahead in the polls.
Don't count your chickens before they come home to roost. Oh, somebody bring me some milk, because here come a big Oreo.
Yes, yes. We are ahead in the polls. Who knows how these people will vote in the privacy of their own homes?
Oh, sit down, Tom.
I am well aware of how I am perceived, but now is not the time for our petty squabbling. Now, this came to me this morning. In order to ensure victory We must stop resisting the offer and urge the country to accept the trader's proposition. The major motivation for racism in this country is the deeply held belief that black people should not have anything that white people don't. Not only do whites insist on better jobs, higher incomes, better neighborhoods, better schools, but they leap to gobble up our language, our dress, our music, and our dance. Therefore, I propose that from now until the polls open this evening, we circulate the rumor that the aliens have arranged for our transport to the wealthiest and most beautiful utopia in the known universe. White folks will go in, wondering what we will encounter in this new land. They will gnash their teeth. They will even argue that to limit the space traders' offer to blacks is an unconstitutional discrimination against whites.
I cannot stand here any longer and be influenced by a man who has dedicated his entire life to sabotaging his own people. Now is not the time for trickery and tomfoolery. My people were brought here involuntarily, and involuntarily is the only way they're gonna take me out. Yes, Lord.
The people without power must use cunning and guile. Yes,
Oh man. Oh man. Yo, my bad, Oni. Shouts out to Oni. Yo, put your channel in the chat. Oni at the Pro Black Perspective. My bad, my brother. Oni was definitely on here. And you better show up too for when we talk about this Black Civil War, because I'm interested in hearing y'all perspective. But thank all of y'all, man. And as always, man, we have got to start standing for something, or we're gonna keep falling for anything.